All right, can y'all hear me in the back? All right, so I don't know why I'm a little bit nervous, and I think it's because I'm around family, and I don't want to let family down. But I'm so honored to be here, and looking at the grass, I'm like, wow, she right, y'all did it. Y'all did it. Y'all did that thing. Proud of y'all. All right, so this is what I got to do in order for me to relax and get into my flow. And trust me, I had this pastor that said, never make them happy twice. Happy you stood up and happy you sat down. So I got a certain amount of time that I'm going to be up here, and I might have to move the mic and walk around because I really don't do podiums, just sitting up here lecturing to you. That's not my style. But for me to be able to relax, I got to introduce you, because one of the things that when I spoke to the students today in the African American Student Center, they kept talking about the reoccurring theme was family. They felt family. They felt that this campus provided them with an opportunity to, yeah, they missed home, but they felt like it was a family atmosphere up here. So I want to introduce you to my family. Can I introduce you to my family? All right, so I'm going to introduce you to my family, all right? So, because I want us to be family as I'm speaking, so then I could be more relaxed. Can y'all do that with me? All right, so here we go. So first person I got to introduce you to is this person. All right. All right. All right. That's my wife, Sherelle Arnold. We've been married 15 long, good years. 15 good years. Y'all ain't about to get me in trouble. All right. All right, so that's Sherelle. All right, so the next person I got to introduce you to, and I'm silly, y'all. Y'all got to bear with me. I'm real silly. Next person I got to introduce you to is this person right here. That's it. All right, stop. Hold on. See, every time I show that picture, people start laughing. What if that was his real teeth? My feelings would be hurt. You know? Y'all be like, y'all ain't got no insurance where you work at now? But that's DJ Arnold. That's my guy. And so some of the stories that I'm going to talk about, they have to do with my kids. But I got to show you the last person in the family so we can be family. So this is the last person right here. All right, stop. Time out. It's so funny because every time I show that picture, people go, oh, that ain't no all. That's cornflakes in her hair. That ain't no all picture. But that's my baby. That's my baby. That's Alani. All right. So I'm gonna read a little bit off of this, but you know I don't flow like this reading down. So I'm gonna bring it back up in a minute. So think about it. I used to be the African American student counselor. So can y'all imagine coming into my office and then you know some of y'all like, I don't know if I can do it. I'm like, what are you talking about? Get it done. Get it done. Because you can do it. You can do whatever you put your mind to, and you just proved that. But what's interesting about this isn't the end of your journey. This was a small piece of your journey. The rest of your journey is just going to be just as marvelous as this part that you just took part in. So here we go. So DJ, I just showed y'all the picture, right? So DJ, so I'm not going to date myself too much, but y'all got to bear with me. So I believe that all of you graduates and everyone in the room, because as I speak, I want to speak to everyone in the room. But I believe that all of us have greatness inside of us. But it's what we decide to do with that greatness. And so me and DJ, my son is 11 now, and we were watching TV, and this was during the time that Michael Jackson passed away. Y'all know who Michael Jackson is, right? I had to make sure, because you know they be acting all funny. You don't know Michael Jackson? We know Justin Bieber. All right, so it was during the time when Michael Jackson passed away, and so me and my son DJ, that was like 5 years ago, so he's about 6 years old then, and so we watching TV. And so I don't really want to have a conversation with my son, and this was, you know, he had just passed away, so everything on TV has something to do with Michael Jackson. And so I'm like, gosh, I don't really want to have a conversation with him about death. And I said, so my son, he looks at me, and he says, well, Daddy, who is Michael Jackson? And I said, son, Michael Jackson was a great entertainer. And so I'm going back to flicking the TV. I'm trying to find SpongeBob or something. But everything has something to do with Michael Jackson. And so he looks back at me again. And he said, well, Daddy, what happened to him? And so I'm thinking of the words that I can say to my son to get him to understand. But like I said, I really don't want to have the conversation about death with him. So I turned to my son and I said, well, son, Michael Jackson was a great entertainer, and he died because he had a bad heart. And so my son looked back at the TV, and I'm thinking, I'm good. But then he turned back to me. And he said, well, Daddy, when I grow up, Daddy, Daddy, when I grow up, Daddy, I want to be a doctor, Daddy. Daddy, I want to be a doctor. That way, Daddy, I could have saved Michael Jackson, Daddy. And that way, Daddy, all these people on TV, they wouldn't be crying, Daddy. And so I turned off the TV and I said, that's cool, DJ. But I'm going to be honest with you, because we family. Inside, I was like, my son about to be a doctor. He about to get paid. He about to get paid. So I'm walking to the room, and my wife is already on the phone with one of her girls talking about, yeah, girl, my son gonna be a doctor. And so the next day, we got this rule in the house, and the rule is I'm a shoe and a watch guy. That's my thing, shoes and watches. And so did it hurt your eye, right, when I did that? I ain't gonna do that anymore. All right, so the next day, we're in the laundry room, because you got to have your shoes clean. That's our rule. You got to have your shoes clean. So we're in the laundry room, and we cleaning our shoes. Remember, my son is 6. And my wife called me from another room. She said, Damon. And I was like, look, DJ, I can't be late getting you to the bus. Can you finish cleaning Daddy's shoes? He said, yeah, Daddy, I can do it. And so I go in the room to see what my wife needs, and then I come back. I'm like, all right, DJ, we about to be late. Did you finish cleaning Daddy's shoes? He said, yeah, Daddy, yeah. And so he handed me my shoes. And I looked at those shoes, and I was like, wow, DJ, you did a great job with these shoes, man. And so I reached in my pocket, and I handed my son $1. And my son, he started smiling from ear to ear, and he looked at that $1, and he looked at those shoes, and he looked at that $1, and he looked at those shoes. He said, Daddy, I changed my mind. When I grew up, I want to be a shoe shine man. I heard my wife in the other room say, no. But my son believes that he could be whatever he chooses to be. And see, all of these people that drove and flew to support you, we've always believed that you could be whatever you choose to be. And we believe that whatever you put your mind to, you're going to accomplish. See, it's so crazy to me, because so many people think that the richest place on earth is the diamond mines in Africa, or the oil fields in the Middle East. The richest place on this earth is the cemetery, because so many people died with ideas and dreams that could have changed the world. See, graduates, you've been equipped to change the world, and you have to take that serious. Now understand this, you're going to go through adversity, just like you went through adversity here. You know, I'm sure these last 4, 5, 6, 7 years, however long it took, it's not how you start, it's how you finish that counts. But you went through some adversity, but you did it. And see, that's the thing about life. You're going to go through things. You're going to go through things. Let me, we family. How many of you have went through something this year? Raise your hand. Raise your hand, family. Keep your hands up. Okay. How many of you have went through something the last month? Raise your hand. Okay, today. There we go. All right. We all go through things. But what happens is, when we go through those things, we have to keep an attitude that it's going to be all right. And the next thing, graduates, who are you going to surround yourself with? You know, that's vitally important. Who are you going to surround yourself with? Because that's going to ultimately determine your success. You know, your parents been saying that all your life, and it still reigns true today. You know, who are you going to connect to? And I'm hoping that you're going to connect to people who are going to believe in your dreams, who are going to help you push past the problems that you're going to experience and into your purpose. I remember sitting in chairs just like you guys. And like I said, I'm not going to be up here too much longer, because I remember the keynote was speaking, and I remember one of my guys fell asleep. He fell asleep, and it was a pause, and people started, you know, clapping, and he thought it was over. So he woke up at that moment, and then the keynote started speaking again. He was like, oh, shoot. This is why I tell you that, is because it's going to be people that speak into your life that's going to help you along the way. So you got to make sure that you're picking up different things along the way. You got to make sure that you're taking the opportunity to grow. You have to be a lifelong learner. It doesn't stop now. It doesn't stop now. You got to continue to learn. You got to continue to grow. Education is the key. Education is the key. I thought about this today, and I wanted to make sure I hit you with it. Don't get discouraged and wonder why things are happening to you. You must realize when you have big dreams, you will have big problems. If you were average, you would have average problems. You're destined to leave a mark on this generation. You're a history maker. You're a world changer. But the key is you can't worry about haters. Graduates, how many of you got haters? Raise your hand. Raise your hand. If you're not raising your hand, are you their hater? No, I'm just messing with you. Remember, haters don't hate on average people. They hate on extraordinary people. Take it as a compliment because it goes with the territory. Haters wouldn't hate on you if you weren't so great. You feel me on that? Yeah. So stop getting mad at them. Stop getting mad at them. Recognize that something special is about to happen in your life. And that's why they're hating. Because something special is about to happen in your life. This moment, remember it. As y'all were coming down the aisleway, we were all just clapping and we were so proud. We were so proud. Because your parents, your family, they know what you had to deal with. This is the last story and then I'm done. So I remember when I was graduating, and it was just like this. We were sitting in the African American graduation, and it was held at a church. And so all of our family members came up. And so I had just found out the week before that I was going to grad school. And you got to understand, I got kicked out of 2 different high schools, graduated from an alternative school. Never once did I think Dr. Damon Arnold lived inside of me. And so I didn't tell my mother that I was going to grad school. So we're sitting in the church, and at our graduation, everybody had a chance to go up to the mic and say something special about the people who played a role in them graduating. And so the first person got up. And by the way, me and my friends, we were sitting back there and we were making bets on which girl gonna cry first when she got to the mic. And so the first girl got up, and the first girl, we was like, yeah, she gonna cry. I seen her crying before at the Cubs. She gonna cry. And so the first girl got up and she said, you know, a lot of you don't know this, but my uncle, he was diagnosed with cancer and I almost went home, but he said, baby, there's nothing you can do for me. Baby, you stay up there and you get it done. And I just want to say that my uncle's here today and he's cancer-free, and everybody start clapping, ah. And so the next person came up and we was like, yeah, she cry all the time. So this person came up and she got to the mic and she said, you know, my family drove a long way and I just want to thank them for coming out. And so she sat down. And so I'm the next person to go because my name is Arnold. And so I go and I think I'm cool. So I stroll up there. I get to the mic and I look at my mother and I start crying like a little girl. I mean, not the cool cry. I'm snot everything. And I said it's at a black church, so they like, it's okay, baby. It's okay. The reason why I was crying is because I knew what I put my mother through. I knew it wasn't an easy journey. And so I took my attention away from my mother and I said, my mother's always been there for me. Just like these people, they've always been there for you. Just like if they've always been there for you. And I said, one thing my mother doesn't know, because I didn't get a chance to tell her because I wanted to make sure that I passed my finals. But next semester, I'm going to grad school. And the audience was like, ah! And I seen some ladies like, girl, get him. And so at the end of the ceremony, and we're walking off the stage, and everybody is going to their family, and they hugging their family, and remember we're in the church, so my mother comes over as I'm coming off the stage, and she said, boy, we in a church, you don't be lying in church. Because I was never a great student, but what I always did was I put myself around people who could help me grow. I utilized my resources. I wasn't a strong writer, but I made sure that I went to the writing center. I wasn't great at math, but I made sure that I got a math tutor. See, these are the things that you're going to continue to have to do. It's some greatness, like I said, inside each and every one of you, and you got to make sure that you're getting around people who can ignite that fire and continue to keep that flame going. Graduates, does all this make sense that I'm saying? Does all this make sense? Was I boring? Because you know how keynotes be, yes. And I didn't want to be that. So this is what I'm going to leave y'all with. This is what I'm going to leave y'all with. As you leave here tonight, no one is going to give you a grade on how well you're doing in life. It will be up to you to start grading your success. And as I keep saying, greatness is inside of you, and it's a guy named Les Brown who said this, and I close with this. He said that you don't have to be great in order to get started, but you do have to start in order to be great. Class of 2015, great job, you did it.